What if the hero of an Isekai story was actually the final boss? That is Overlord. Ainz Ooal Gown isn't trying to save the world, become a better person, or follow the usual shonen tropes. He's building an empire, and sometimes the people standing in his way simply don't survive. Overlord begins with Momonga, a salaryman who stays logged into the dying MMORPG YGGDRASIL until the servers shut down. But instead of being kicked out, he wakes up inside the game world as his undead avatar, Ainz Ooal Gown. The twist? Nazarick, his massive underground tomb, has come with him. And so have its NPC guardians. They were originally game characters, but now they have their own personalities, loyalty, and ambitions. Ainz quickly realizes something terrifying. This isn't simply a game anymore. It's a living world filled with kingdoms, magic, monsters, politics, and people who have no idea what Nazarick really is. The first hidden gem is Ainz himself. Beneath that terrifying skeleton is still Momonga, a lonely salaryman trying to maintain the image of an all-powerful overlord. That's why his inner monologue is so funny. His guardians think he's a galaxy brain mastermind, while Ainz is often improvising and hoping nobody notices. Demiurge's terrifying interpretation of Ainz's plans only makes the misunderstanding even better. And this leads to one of Overlord's biggest strengths, its world building. The new world doesn't exist just to give Ainz enemies to steamroll. It has its own nations, religions, races, political conflicts, adventurers, and powerful individuals. The world keeps moving even when Ainz isn't around. That's a huge reason the series feels more like dark fantasy than typical isekai trash. Another fascinating detail is Nazarick itself. The tomb isn't just a cool dungeon. Its guardians were created by different supreme beings, and their personalities often reflect the strange personalities of their creators. That creates a bizarre family dynamic. Albedo is obsessively devoted. Demiurge is terrifyingly strategic. Cocytus values warrior honor. And Cebus follows a much stronger sense of personal justice. Then there's Ainz's morality. Overlord deliberately plays with the idea of an overpowered protagonist who isn't secretly a hero. Ainz can be cautious, intelligent, and even caring toward Nazarick's residents. But outside that circle, his decisions can become brutally pragmatic. The uncomfortable part is that the story often makes you understand his perspective, even when you absolutely shouldn't agree with it. Visually, Overlord has a very distinct identity: Gothic architecture, undead armies, enormous spells, elegant character designs, and the sinister atmosphere of Nazarick. Give the anime a look that separates it from brighter isekai shows. Madhouse doesn't always deliver Sakuga fireworks, and the CGI has definitely been criticised. Some monster and army scenes can look rough, but when the direction clicks, the atmosphere is powerful. And honestly, Overlord's biggest visual weapon isn't constant animation flexing, it's presentation. Ainz standing silently in Nazarick can sometimes feel more intimidating than an entire battle sequence. Here's another hidden detail. Ainz's biggest advantage isn't simply his ridiculous stats, it's information. He's constantly trying to understand the new world, its magic, its powerful beings, and possible threats. Meanwhile, everyone around him assumes he already knows everything. That creates one of the show's most entertaining loops. Ainz makes a cautious guess. His followers interpret it as genius. And suddenly his random decision becomes a 5-dimensional master plan. The anime also loves switching perspectives. Sometimes you follow Ainz. Other times, you follow characters who have absolutely no idea what Nazarick is planning. That makes ordinary characters surprisingly important. You can watch the same event from two sides and realize that Ainz's simple plan looks like the apocalypse to everyone else. Among hardcore fans, the biggest praise is remarkably consistent world building, lore, character variety, and Ainz's villainous protagonist are the real hook. In recent Reddit discussions, fans repeatedly highlight the world building and lore, while others praise how the world continues to exist independently of Ainz. Some even argue that Overlord deserves more recognition among the great Isekai, but the criticism is real too. Some viewers dislike the slower pacing, the brutal treatment of side characters, or the uneven CGI. And that's fair. Overlord isn't trying to be everyone's comfort anime. There's also a major difference between anime-only fans and light novel readers. The novels contain far more world building and internal detail, while the anime has to compress that material. So if certain characters or political events feel underdeveloped, the adaptation is partly responsible. Still, the fandom's long-term attachment says a lot. Years after the early seasons, fans continue rewatching the series and discussing its lore, characters, and hidden details. Overlord isn't the perfect isekai. Its animation can be inconsistent, its pacing can slow down, and its story can be brutally uncomfortable. But that's exactly why it remains memorable. It doesn't just ask, what if I got transported to another world? It asks, what happens when someone with overwhelming power stops caring about being the hero? 4 TV seasons have given us a substantial completed anime run, with the story continuing beyond what the TV adaptation has covered. And if you want an isekai built around villainous power, political intrigue, dark humor, and serious world building, Overlord is still one of the safest recommendations. The craziest part, Ainz may look like the most powerful character in the room, but the real mystery has always been the world around him. Because if Nazarick arrived in this world, what else arrived with it? And that's why Overlord isn't just an isekai about an undead king. It's a story about a world slowly realizing that its newest ruler may be something far worse than a monster.